to the Vegas Golden Knights by a score of 5-1. And this was a game where the Rangers were thoroughly outplayed. They actually played very well in the first period and even into the second period as well. But then once, I would say, Vegas made it 2-1, really from there, maybe even before they made it 2-1, it was game, set, and match. And what was really disappointing about it was this was the return of Gallant and Ryan Reaves to Vegas. Now, if you remember, the Rangers played Vegas at the Garden a few weeks back. That was the last game before the COVID pause. And the Rangers played a pretty good game. They lost in a shootout. And unfortunately, a couple of similarities in the sense that Artemi Panarin out for this game, and as well Igor Shesterkin. Shesterkin is surprised as, unfortunately, he was placed on the COVID list. So Shesterkin will probably be out for some time. But Georgiev in net in this one, and I wouldn't blame this on him. There were definitely a goal or two that he would like to have back, but the Rangers were outshot 35-19. And this was after a really strong road first period. A period in which the Rangers, I wouldn't say it's been getting better lately, but it's a period that I would say has arguably been their weakest. But to be fair, it has improved. But the Rangers in this one, really, there is a lack of depth on this team. At times we've given praise, to like the fourth line. And I think a big part of that, to be honest with you, was Barclay Goodrow was on that fourth line for quite some time. I think that was a big reason for its effectiveness. For example, when it had been a line of Goodrow, Rooney, and Reaves, that was workable. Now that Heater line is non-existent, and now you have a fourth line that plays more than the Heater line, but it's a fourth line that consists of Rooney, McKegg, and Reaves. That's not very good. The Heater line has Hunt and Gauthier. That's not very good. And then defensively, the third pair is a bit of a mess, as it's been. But as much as I'm not a big fan of Patrick Nemeth, there's some semblance of stability with him. He's a veteran. I wouldn't say a great one, but his loss is felt slightly, but more so because Libor Hayek continues to play. I don't quite understand why. Zach Jones played, and I'm fine with that. Not that he really had a great game either. I thought he had a very good first period. His game slipped as it went on, but I'm okay with that with Hayek. Like, we've seen enough. And I'm surprised that Nils Lundkvist would be a healthy scratch. Like, they would rather have Jones and Hayek, two lefties, so Hayek was playing on his offside, than Nils Lundkvist. It's very apparent that this coaching staff is not a big fan of Lundkvist. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. For what it's worth, Jarred Tinordi has returned from the COVID list. So there's a lot of defensemen, especially once Nemeth returns. What are they going to do? So right now it's Jones and Hayek. But at this point, I can't imagine Hayek played for many reasons. Hayek specifically, I can't imagine he plays next game. But anyway, the Rangers' first period was a really strong one. It's somehow they were unable to score. Robin Lehner was in net for the Vegas Golden Knights. They had some players return that had previously been out, Lehner being one of them, Mark Stone being another. So there was no Max Pacioretty. He's out. He's going to be out for a while with an injury. But this is a very good Vegas team. To me, when I look at the Western Conference, this is one of the strongest teams in the West. And pretty much ever since their existence under Gallant, it's been that way. Vegas is a tough place to play. And so the result isn't so much surprising, but the way that it happened was disappointing. So the Rangers, we've seen the special teams be a key factor in the Rangers' success. In the first period, unfortunately, it was not, as the Rangers don't score on their power play chance. And then Ryan Lindgren takes a tripping penalty. Not a great penalty by Lindgren towards the end of the period. And it leads to a power play goal by the Golden Knights. And it would be a goal by Jonathan Marchessault, who's had a great season, a really, really strong season. And so Marchessault makes it 1-0. This is a play where it's kind of a goal mouth scramble. Bad job by the Rangers not really being able to clear the crease. The puck was sitting there. Zibanejad specifically, who I don't want to get on too much. Like I have a lot this season, and he really has been better lately. But that's a play where Mika, kind of whiffed at the puck, couldn't clear it to the corner, and Marchessault puts it in. Makes it 1-0 Vegas. But the second period, the Rangers start out strong, and they tie it up. Not a great goal by Robin Leonard, but nonetheless, it's a goal for Chris Kreider, his 21st goal of the season. It would take an injury or something weird for him to not get that 30-goal mark and really beyond it. So Kreider, 21st goal of the season, assisted by Zibanejad and Kakko. So that ties it up at 1. And that was 52 seconds into the period. So right away. But then the game starts to turn. And it would be a goal by Mark Stone at 8:14 of the second period. So Mark Stone makes it 2-1 Vegas. A puck that goes in off his skate, but one in which you can't really he didn't directly kick it in. Like it looked like he did, but I have no problem. Like the call on the ice stood. They looked at it. Call on the ice stands. Good goal for Mark Stone. And that was a play where Libor Hayek makes a play in the offensive zone where he just gives the puck up. Bad play there by Hayek. I don't know what he was doing there, but I put the blame on him for it to be in that position. Then, about 5 minutes later, Matthias Janmark scores to make it 3-1. And this was a play where a combination of Jones and Hayek messed up, but really Kevin Rooney, who I noticed that he makes a lot of turnovers in the defensive zone, in the neutral zone. For someone who is a penalty killer, someone who's supposed to be a heady player, he makes a lot of mistakes. And this is a play where he tried to force a pass, cross ice, didn't work. And Janmark is able to get by Hayek, who doesn't deserve all of the blame, but he gets by him, and it's a goal as Janmark scores past Georgiev. Not an amazing goal given up by Georgiev, but not terrible either. It was a pretty good shot by Janmark. So at that point, I wasn't too frustrated with Georgiev. Greg McKegg, who I don't really know why he's in the lineup, he takes a penalty towards the end of the second. Rangers do kill it off to keep it at 3-1. And then in the third, because of course it has to happen, Brett Howden, good old Brett Howden, scores against the Rangers. About 2 minutes into the period, it's the fourth goal of the season for Howden. So Howden has two of his 4 goals this year against the Rangers. And that makes it 4-1. That was a bad goal by Georgiev. It deflects off of Hayek's stick, and it goes in 5-hole past Georgiev. That's one that he wants to have back. Really bad goal by Georgiev. But again, it's really hard to just destroy Georgiev because the Rangers weren't going to win this game. Even if Shesterkin was in that, they weren't going to win it. So it makes it 4-1. And then it's another goal for Jonathan Marchessault later in the period. This was a 2-on-1. Zach Jones was the only guy back. Hayek pinched, trying to take a chance down 3. It backfires. Marchessault fires it past Georgiev. It was a really rough night for, Jones Hayek pair. Pretty rough night for them. And really, that bottom 6, it was tough. It was really tough. Ryan Reaves in his return to Vegas. Not a great game for Ryan Reaves. I believe he was a -3. He admitted after the game that they did a nice video tribute for him, and he says that that affected the rest of the game, and you take his word for it. Ryan Reaves is far from the big issues with this team, but it does make you think that maybe a guy like Reaves shouldn't play every night. But with the situation being what it is with COVID and everything, as long as he's healthy, he's probably going to be in there on most nights. Like I said, McKegg really shouldn't be in there. Let's give someone like Morgan Barron a look. And really the Hedel Gauthier combination where at points they were looking good. It's been a struggle for those two. I don't like what I've seen from them. Dryden Hunt, who's on that line, he actually got hurt. Didn't really hear any word as far as what the injury was and what his status is, but it's something to keep an eye on. As Hunt did leave the game in the third period. And there would be a Ranger power play. There would be a Vegas power play. Neither would score. And the final is 5-1 Vegas. The Rangers were outshot in the third, 11-4. They had one good chance early where Goodrow was set up, I believe by Strome. It was either Strome or Lafreniere. That line, which was really good against Edmonton, really nowhere to be found in this one. Goodrow stopped by Leonard. And so Vegas wins it really easily. I mean, they outshot the Rangers 35-19. The Vegas had the puck. Rangers turned the puck over. Vegas had the puck all night long. And so that's the game. And it's okay. I mean, the Rangers have been playing, pretty well. A couple of wins versus Tampa. They did, beat an Edmonton team that's been struggling lately, but a good win nonetheless. And so now they potentially take on Anaheim. Why I say potentially, because Anaheim's game tonight was postponed against Detroit and moved to Sunday. Rangers play the Ducks Saturday. So they're definitely going to try to get that game in, because the Rangers, they're not going to want to have the Rangers go back to the West Coast just to play one game. So if this game does get moved, I would suspect that it would get moved to potentially Wednesday of next week if it does get moved. So we'll see. If they do play it, expect that Shesterkin will continue to be out. And so then it'll probably be, I would assume, still Georgiev over Kincaid, although you never know. And then hopefully Panarin returns. I think there's a chance if Panarin doesn't return for the Anaheim game, I would certainly expect him back against the Kings on Monday. Patrick Nemeth, probably the same thing. They haven't really said exactly what the situation is with him, but things sound promising for his return. So, but then again, just like we saw with Shesterkin being out in this game, just because players are coming back, you never know. There could be players that will unfortunately enter the COVID list. So we'll see. Disappointing game for the Rangers as they lose very easily at Vegas in the return of Gerard Gallant and Ryan Reaves.